going to have a wonderful meeting today." To this I replied, "I feel myself almost bursting." The meeting, having been opened, was handed over to the Spirit.
"O Lord, pour out your Spirit upon us."
I was conscious that I would have to pray as one,
Thank you for your presence.
and the others prayed. I put the question to the Spirit. "Shall I pray now?"
Pour it out, Lord.
"Wait a minute," said he. When others prayed, I felt a living force come into my bosom. It held my breath, and my legs shivered, and at every prayer I asked, "Shall I now?" The living force grew and grew. I was almost bursting. Instantly someone ended his prayer, my bosom boiling. I would have burst if I had not prayed. What boiled me was God commending his love. I fell on my knees with my arms over the seat in front of me, and the tears and perspiration flowed freely. I thought blood was gushing forth. Mrs. Davis came to wipe my face. For about 2 minutes it was fearful. I cried, "Bend me, bend me, bend us." Then, and Mrs. Davis said, "Oh, wonderful grace." "Yes," I said, "Oh, wonderful grace." What bent me was God commending his love, and I not seeing anything in it to commend. After I was bent, a wave of peace came over me, and the audience sang, "I hear thy welcome voice." And as they sang, I thought of the bending at the judgment day, and I was filled with compassion for those who would be bent on that day, and I wept.
In thy precious blood that flowed on Calvary.
I believe the total for this mission is certainly 20 souls. Grand meetings today at Blaenanach, and many cried for mercy. It was a remarkable thing to hear one young man, Evan Roberts. He caught at the words and prayed, bend me, O Lord."
Unknown to Seth, this became the answer to his prayer of the last 4 years. That God would take someone not from the ministerial elite, not from the students of the great colleges, but would take someone from the mines or from the fields and use them. Evan Roberts becomes a changed man.
Henceforth, the salvation of souls became the burden of my heart. From that time I was on fire with a desire to go through all Wales, and if it were at all possible, I was willing to pay God for allowing me to go.
Evan experienced increasing difficulty continuing his studies at school. On October the 28th, he wrote to his sister Mary,
"Spiritual things have such a hold on me. To tell you the truth, I have not done much work since I am here. I try to shake off these thoughts, spiritual thoughts, but it would have been as easy to turn back the flow of the sea."
His only book becomes the Bible. John Phillips, the headmaster, son of Evan Phillips, the minister of Bethel, notes the change in Evan.
From this point, there was no way of getting Roberts to school. His old desire to benefit a guilty world gained continually in strength during these weeks, and it conquered every other desire in his soul. To all who knew him, there was something strange in his manner now, and he caused them great anxiety that his mind was becoming impaired.
A Dr. Hughes from the United States, who happened to be in the area, spent some time with him and feared for his mental stability. Tutors and friends didn't know what to do for the best. The month of October was to be a month of intense prayer for God's guidance as to the next step. Exactly a week after his experiences at Blaenanach, Evan took part in a revival service in Tourguin, some 5 miles from Newcastle Emlyn. It was led by Joseph Jenkins, the minister at Newquay. These early experiences were to give Evan Roberts the blueprint that he was to follow in his own meetings. The minister opened the meeting for anyone to speak, and Evan Roberts took the opportunity of encouraging the congregation to win souls for Christ.